Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be talking about Dogecoin risks in a bear market. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And yes, we are in a bear market. I know there are many still out there who can't believe it, still think this whole thing is going to turn around any day and a bunch of money is going to come flowing in and all of crypto is going to go crazy. Well, that's not the market we have right now, and there are risks involved. But there's always the chance for Dogecoin. Yes, there's always a chance of some big price move. So let's get into it. Let me show you the charts in the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here with the current Dogecoin chart at about 9.75 cents. We're recovering from yesterday's dip, and I'll show you exactly why we had that dip yesterday in just a minute. But overall, we do have this upward sloping support line, which became resistance here on Saturday and then bumped up against it a couple times before weakness on Sunday led to the Sunday night dip. Classic trading pattern in a bear market. A little bit of a recovery now. Will we get back up to the sloping resistance line and bounce around a bit? We'll be checking that. But again, 10 cents here is going to be our major resistance line again. And will we see us back in the yellow box at 10 cents? But we look at Bitcoin at 66.4. This was the dip last night, came down to about 64.4. 64.8 was our target. Yes, that's right, it was our target. We'll talk about that in just a minute, where that came from. But that's the current state. And one thing that's really interesting before I get to the news here is Bitcoin dominance. Look what happened. This explains it right here on Sunday evening. You rarely see a dip like this in Bitcoin dominance. What does that show you? That shows you that Bitcoin was being manipulated down. It was Bitcoin, heavy selling of Bitcoin by market makers and exchanges because they can move the price. And alts didn't fall at the same time. It was Bitcoin. For Bitcoin dominance to drop like this shows you the Bitcoin was being manipulated. That's it. That's it. I mean, look at right now with the price over the past about 15 hours or so, 14 hours. Doge is up 2%. Bitcoin is down almost 2%. That divergence between Doge and Bitcoin happens when Bitcoin is being manipulated. That's what's happening right here. That's quite the offset right there between Bitcoin and Doge. All right, so what's going on? Well, this week, today, U.S. market is going to open for stocks. I'm recording this before the stock market opens. Right now, the futures are a little bit down, but this is going to be after the Trump 15% global tariffs. The EU is saying, well, we don't believe that because Trump's just making the stuff up. The tariffs. Yes, the tariffs again. Here we are. Another year goes by and it's just like tariff. And they just continue to hurt the crypto market. Tomorrow we've got the ADP employment change. 25th is NVIDIA Q4 earnings, which are probably going to be great. And I mean, that's where all the money's going in right now, where the Mag 7 companies, right, are getting all of the support in stocks. Yeah, there's a little stock every once in a while that goes crazy, but for the most part, it's just the major ones. Initial jobless claims data comes on Thursday, and then on Friday we have PPI and core PPI data. So that'll be inflation. So we've got jobless, we've got inflation, NVIDIA Q4. So the end of the week is going to be pretty interesting. Today, Strategy B and Michael Saylor are going to announce their 100th Bitcoin purchase. So that's from 2019 or 2020 till now, they've made 100 purchases of Bitcoin. Now, with that, they're actually averaging down now because their average price is higher than the current price of Bitcoin by almost $10,000, meaning that all of the Bitcoin that Michael Saylor has bought for Strategy B from when they started, when Bitcoin's price was low, That average price is higher than the current price, and they are down about $5 to $6 billion right now, just on those Bitcoin holdings. Now, maybe next year or the year after, Bitcoin's going to come back up over 74K, and we'll be back up to 80, 90K, and everything will be happy. But right now, MicroStrategy is underwater. We are in extreme fear down to 5. This is all-time lows. We are at all-time lows on the crypto fear and greed. The sentiment is gone. I get it. This is bear market. We've been talking about this bear market since the beginning of November is when I finally flipped and became a bear. And here we are, the end of February, and it's even worse. That's what we've got. Gel says, look, more and more coins are moving at a loss, just like we saw in the previous bear markets. History repeating once again. Patience is the game until we see some big spikes. So that's it. So here we are, in the red. Last seen in 2022, and before that, really 2018. And there we are again, of people moving Bitcoin at a loss, transferring or selling, and that's what this represents. And usually this gets worse. We start with a low amount, and then it gets bad before it gets better. Starts with a low amount, and then it gets bad before it gets better. And that bad is like summertime, right? Summertime. So that's where I am. I'm still thinking summertime. And Guy and his team at Coinbase say everything in crypto changed October 10th. That day, over $19 billion in crypto positions were liquidated. At the time, it felt like just another dip. And I'm like, nope. Because we were there live. Some of you were there live too. And remember, I had my head in my hands and I was just saying, I'm sorry, guys, because I knew that what was happening, because we were live when it was happening, that what was happening was different. It wasn't just a dip. Now, maybe Coinbase didn't recognize that, but Chris did. Chris definitely recognized it. We're now 140 days past that event. The market has not recovered. Bitcoin is down 50% since then. ETH, 62% below its peak. Altcoins have erased $500 billion in market cap. Momentum never returned. We had a couple little recoveries. October 10th wasn't just a dip. It was the day leverage broke the cycle. And it hasn't stopped. And we continue to see the leverage. That's right. We continue to see the leverage being taken out. Here is the heat map for Bitcoin here. And one particular trade we recognized was at 64,800. If you remember from last week's live stream, 64,800 was a $60 million trade. And we saw it. We saw that trade. And I said, the market makers are going to take that out. Well, guess what happened? The largest single liquidation order happened on HTX, value $61.5 million, right there. And that was it. We saw it. Look at all liquidations over the past 24 hours, $500 million, $233 million alone on Bitcoin, but out of that 233, one of them was $60 million. That tells you the exchanges and market makers see your trades. And if you're going to bet $60 million on a leveraged long, they're going to target it. And there they did it again last night. And that's it. So we continue to look at the heat maps. We continue to look at the leverage trades. It's a bear market. And these degen leverage traders, especially ones with the big money, think they're going to catch a relief rally. And the relief rally I had said is probably going to be March, April. That we're going to see some kind of relief rally. It's not now. It's not now. So, I mean, Mr. Crypto says, downside of liquidity was grabbed. What comes next is obvious. Well, is it? Even though you've got all these shorts up here winning, that would be a relief rally that would take out those shorts up to 72K. But then, look at that. Already, new long leverage trades are starting to build up, which is the downside. Dogecoin price risks dropped to 7.4 cents if this support fails. So what are we talking about? Well, so Trader Allen had this down sloping trend line here, which was resistance. We had a little mini breakout here on the 13th of February, and then it became support. But the problem is that this is so steep downwards, retested and held 6 times. You're like, hey, it held, right? But it was lower lows with each hold. And I have it on my chart here. We can take a look at it. We can take a look at it. That would be this line here. And then we zoom in, back in. Get it on the hour, right? Yeah. We were looking at this, the sort of the bouncing here. But there's lower lows, and then we actually broke even further from the time he posted that. We're back up above, but that was that post. And what Trader Allen looks at is like he was, before that drop, on Sunday he posted this, and there was an upward supporting trend line coming back up, thinking, okay, we're gonna come up, and actually it failed and went down lower, is what we saw. And when you see that testing that support line down and you're seeing lower lows, that's not good. That's bear market. There is no big run coming back up right now. That's not happening. That isn't happening. So Dogecoin shows trend line strength, historical metric hits new high. So this is the same trader tardigrade post here. But there's another thing here about number of days spent at a profit for Dogecoin actually just had a spike up in where Dogecoin has accumulated more than 1,000 days in the past where the price is higher than today's level. Price higher than today's level for 1,000 days now, meaning most likely there's a lot of holders of Doge who are now in the red. That's what that means if people were buying at higher prices. I don't think this is something historic here. This is not something you want to celebrate. We want the price turning around and going back up. That's what we want. But Trader Allen's not done yet, right? He does post these every now and then. The daily Ichimoku analysis, which basically is showing weakness in the market and price going down. And then he says, you need to subscribe to me. You need to subscribe to me so you know every day short-term, mid-term, long-term support resistance, nearest best levels for trading. And so this is when he shows the weakness, whenever he shows this cloud thing and all the negativity. And then he comes back and he posts another thing like this where he's looking at big pumps coming up. Back to $1. We're going to $1 in 2027, according to Trader Allen. We've reached our base. We're going to have a relief rally, come back down a little bit in the summer, and then we have sort of a mini pump early in the fall, and then 2027, the big explosion. That's what this is showing. Now he's basically just taking this fractal here and then exploding it and emphasizing it up higher. Could this happen? Sure. It's Dogecoin. It's Dogecoin. That's where the risk comes in. The risk comes in, you're buying down here below 10 cents. There's always a risk of another dip lower. Buying opportunity, many believe, and that's what I'm waiting for. I think this summer we're going to have a little bit of that. But are we going to see these kinds of pumps again? Crypto right now, it's hard to believe because we're in this big bear market and things are looking pretty bad. But we have seen in the past, crypto has made comebacks. When it was thought to be dead before, it has come back again and again, and this will be another one. So I believe in it. I can only tell you what I'm doing, and I will be accumulating this summer on the dips. Probably August, September timeframe. That's my outlook. We see that again and again in the summer. It's more the end of the summer when you start seeing those kinds of dip buying opportunities. We've seen it, I don't know, 4 years in a row now, that those were just about the bottoms of each year for dip buying. And that's what I'm looking for right now. So, but there are risks always. We don't know what's going to happen with crypto going forward. But right now, we're recovering a bit from yesterday's dip. And of course, that was all the manipulation for Bitcoin leverage trading getting liquidated. and we recover up. Doge showing good strength. Again, Bitcoin's down 2%. Doge is up 1.5%. Doge trading better than Bitcoin right now. Kind of interesting to see how Bitcoin gets manipulated, and Doge is holding okay. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about your Dogecoin risks and your strategy going forward? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.